morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hope everyone's good. Jimbo is doing updates. So he's, I don't know where he is. He leaves everything till the last minute, as men do. But hope everyone's good today on this Wednesday hump day. I can already see it's DJ Samuel's birthday. So big happy birthday to you, DJ Samuel. Hope you're having a nice day. I have got a member in the back already, Martin. I can see you. I will get you on in a minute. Let's just have a look and see who's in the chat before we start with our members show. We've got Pub King saying happy birthday, DJ Samuel. Yes, happy birthday to you. Big up Rinketic, good to see you. We have got Chrysandro saying looking forward to the show. Let's hope it's a good one. Good evening, Scott from Australia. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Niall. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Drew La says, afternoon, Kate. Last minute, Jimbo, Martin, and all in chat. Honestly, he honestly does leave everything to the last minute. Kate, I'm here. Come on, you gunners. Big up Raymond. Big up Shemtan. Said, good morning, Princess Kate and the ruggedly handsome young man, Sir Jimbo. Hope you're both doing well. And a hello to Miss Amelia. Seems to be pottering around in the background. If there's someone pottering around in the background, we have a ghost because she's out for the day. So if you see someone behind me, we either have an intruder or a ghost, which I don't like either. So please do keep your eyes open. I'm a bit nervous now. But yeah, hope everyone's good. Whilst we wait for Jimbo, we'll bring on Martin, Mr. Martin Knightsbridge. How are you doing, sir? Good to see you.
I'm good. Good, are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Are you pleased to be back in Spain?
Oh, you're not wrong. It was a tough 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was. You was only supposed to be over for a few days.
A week. I was doing a week.
And it ended up being 3 weeks.
3.5.
Wow.
It's like a prison sentence. She was counting every day to use getting paid.
Well, it's good to see you anyway, and have you back on the show. I'm just looking who else has come in. John's come in. We leave everything to last minute. You have so much time to bugger all, yes. And big up Beyond. Bubble up like a 7-Up. Kate and MC said that once when I was DJing on the radio. I like it. Jimbo, I don't know where he is. He's probably playing. Well, I was going to say St. Rude there, and I don't know where that came from, but he said just updating, babe, which was 5 minutes ago. Maybe he's updating his brain as well, but that might take some time. But AJ's here as well. Big up, AJ. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. How are you both?
Yeah, good mate.
You must be getting excited, AJ. Only 8 days till you fly off.
I am very, very, very excited indeed.
Good. Lucky you is all I can say. I'm not going to get onto the subject of holidays again because everybody...
Come on, where are you going? Where are you going?
Turkey.
Nice.
Never been before.
Never been before, so you're a Turkey virgin?
Yeah, I'm a Turkey virgin.
Wow. I think that's quite a nice thing to be, actually, a Turkey virgin, thinking about it. Big up, Paul. Rinketic, the link is on the community page. Of course, you are welcome. Got a few things to talk about today. First of all, Ten Hag staying at Man United. Jimbo and I did speak about it on Monday. Both of us thought he would be. Martin, are you surprised? Are you happy?
Surprised a bit, yeah. Happy, yeah. I don't know. I think they were playing their cards very close to their chest, and it just didn't seem right to me. There was links to, they were saying they're getting this new, we want to play this way, we want to do this, and then every manager was just all over the place. It didn't make sense to me. So I had a feeling he might stay, but because nothing was coming out, and Man United fans were going nuts. We want to know something, want to know something. And then now they got the answer, didn't they?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they did say on TalkSport this morning, whether it's true, I don't know, that they did approach Tuchel and he said no, and so did Poch, which is why they've stuck with Ten Hag. But I don't know how true that is. AJ, what do you make of it all?
I think he's done enough to warrant staying. He's won 2 trophies with them now in a time when they've been They haven't really had an identity for years. They haven't had a style. They've had no stability. And then you're expecting a manager to come in and all of a sudden, be consistently challenging, be consistently in the top four. How do you measure success? Do you measure it on being competitive year on year and finishing high in the league, or do you measure it by winning trophies? You know, if it's trophies, he's won you 2 trophies. So surely he's the right man for the job. If you measure it by improving and climbing higher in the league, then he's not. So they're gonna please a lot of people by keeping him. They're gonna anger a lot of people by keeping him. It just falls. It depends on what your preference is, what you like. You might want to finish 8th or 7th or 12th and pick up a trophy. That might be successful. You might want to come very close, but finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th and be consistently challenging and represent, like being representation for England in European competition. That might be good enough for some. So they're kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't. But there's been no real style, no real structure there for years now. So, I mean, unless they come up with some plan, some direction they want to be heading in, they're better off keeping him because at least he's winning.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think he has warranted another season. I mean, if we had a manager like, for instance, if Ange had won the FA Cup, we'd all be screaming from the rooftops. And I do get it that Man United are a different club to us, but the shambles that they are and have been in, I think he's done a good job. I don't think there's anyone out there who really
as you say, they've been in a shambles. They've been in 3 finals in 2 seasons and won 2 cups. We're screaming out for that, and I don't know. We're just not very good at it, are we?
No. Good afternoon, Rinketic. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Have you got any thoughts on the whole Ten Hag situation at Man United?
Ben from the coffee company actually said something really good this morning about this, and I kind of agree. He was like, Man United had this season had a lot of injuries, especially at the back. They had like 16 center-back combinations or something. And also they had all those like Sancho issues, Rashford issues, and Ten Hag has gotten a lot of heat in general. Like, they haven't really been that nice to him, if we are going to be honest. And also Anthony has not like been good either. And he was like the main signing from, like, we can talk about how Ndombele has been shit, but it's not like Pochettino and Mourinho has gone like any slack because we signed Ndombele, while Ten Hag has got a lot of hate has come because of the Anthony signing, probably. It feels that way.
Yeah, I agree. Someone just asked an interesting question. Paul Connor seems to think that Poch is holding out for the Spurs job if Ange leaves, which I hope he doesn't. Do you think that's why he said no to United? AJ, did you just giggle?
No.
Oh, I thought you giggled then. What do you think? Do you think Poch is holding out for it all going Pete Tong with Ange or not?
No, not anymore. I think if Poch was ever interested in coming back to Spurs, it was before we appointed Ange. The fact that, by all accounts, depending on who you listen to and what you read, he was waiting for a call, he was interested, and the call never came. Would he ever work for Levy again, knowing the limitations that come with the job? No, I don't think so. Would Levy ever employ him again, especially after he'd been to Chelsea? I don't think so. So I like the guy. I think I didn't wish him ill when he went to Chelsea. If you're desperate for a job and you're holding out for something, and what you're holding out for doesn't come, are you not going to eat? Are you going to starve? Are you going to freeze to death? Are you not going to shelter yourself? Are you not going to earn money off of the principle that you once managed a club where you were adored, but they don't want you anymore? They sacked you. They no longer want you. The man's got to earn. I never had any issues with him going. I didn't want him to succeed. I didn't want him to be winning trophies at the expense of us, but I didn't wish him ill. those days are gone. I loved him. I loved what he brought to the club.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
memories.
Martin, what do you feel?
Yeah, I think his chances before Ange, I think, he held out in secret. I'm sure he wanted to come back and unfinished business and all that we've always said. But I think now he's done the Chelsea thing and all that. I think, no, time's gone. And I hope we don't sack Ange, to be quite honest, and have this. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't see it.
I mean, I love Poch. I've always loved Poch, and I wanted him back. But I mean, Rinke, do you think
what he did then, though? What he did then and how it was then, wasn't it? It's you're hanging on to the past. Will it recreate again? Probably not. It's nostalgia, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's time, Rinke, that Tottenham fans kind of put Poch out of our heads and stop talking about this man like he was the Messiah? Because I'm guilty of it.
In the end of the day, he won nothing.
Yeah.
We got to 2 finals with him? 3 finals? We got one Carabao and the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken, and then might miss out on something. And yeah, Ben says half the board won Pochettino, but the thing is, the first time Pochettino before Pochettino got sacked, he was like, he kind of called out the board like, I'm just a manager or something, while no, I'm just a coach, because he wants to manage stuff, and he wants if I want X, then I want X. I don't want Y, I said, and that was one of the reasons why he left Chelsea as well, right? Because I read something, because he wasn't allowed to buy kind of whoever he wanted, and that's why I can't see it really work.
Yeah, I think maybe we need to move on from Poch now. But I still will always have him in my heart, our little Poch. I do love him, and I do still think he's yummy.
Can't deny how good he made us feel after we'd had it so bad for so long.
Yeah.
I won't ever slag him off for that.
No.
He brought joy to us all. We didn't win shit, but
no, of course.
So, he's no better or worse than the others. It was just, if you want to call it Vibe FC, but it was a great time.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I started to support Spurs just before Bale left, and under Villa Bo was in Team Sherwood. I would rather have Poch again than Team Sherwood.
Yeah, exactly. Big up Ben and Aaron. Good to see you, and Destiny 5 as well. Good to see you all. Finally, the man, the myth, the legend has actually turned up. I don't know what he's been doing with himself, honestly. This is what happens, men and women, but mainly men. This is what happens when you leave things to the last minute. And look, he's just loading now. I was looking at the track. There he is. Good afternoon, James. Nice of you to turn up.
It was updating, but it was taking forever.
This is why you should have done it earlier.
Oh, well, that's it. Tell me off.
Had to clean out that big call history thing, wasn't it? The old
old search history.
Yeah, that's it.
Honestly, big up Ben, Chris Agenby, everyone coming in. Everyone's saying hi to Jimbo. He's better late than never. I was looking at the transfer news today. It's emerged that Man United and Spurs will be the two that battle for Eze's signature. Jimbo, I'm going to come to you first. Are you worried that we are going to miss out on Eze?
No, not at all. I think we'll get him. He doesn't want to. Well, what I've read, he doesn't want to leave London.
Yeah,
right, Paddy. He doesn't want to leave London. He wants to stay in London. So why would he want to go up to Manchester if he wants to live in London? And I'm just not worried anyway. I think that he's our main target, and we'll get him.
Okay, Jim, ever the optimist. Martin, do you agree, or are you a bit more concerned?
I'm with Jim. I've got a funny feeling, and I don't normally get them with players and transfers. I just think I'll take them a bit pie in the sky. But I think this one, I don't know, there's something behind it. Maybe because I want it. I don't know, and I want it to happen. But I think it's all these little things we see with the players, the box, the little special treatment. They've been tapping him up for a while in my eyes, and that's how I see it. We say when he lives in London, but over where he is to over has a long slog. But at the end of the day, don't start work till gone 10 o'clock in the morning. They drive nice supercars. I'm sure the M25 ain't a problem for 150 grand a week every day. So, yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah.
Nice to see the wall back, Martin.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while. The last time was in Ben's shop, but, you know, the wall's back. The wall's back.
Yeah, I love the wall. AJ, do you see Eze happening, and are you happy if we get him?
I'd be ecstatic if we got him. I think he's an incredible footballer. He's very different to what we currently have. He's quite versatile, so he can play in a few different positions, which is a plus. I'm not concerned with United, because if you just, like the two guys just said, he wants to stay in London, so he's not going to go up Manchester. And there have been things with him and Sonny. There have been things with him and Maddison. When we played them at our place, they were like, his family had a box. There's just certain things that deal sweeteners. You just think little things that look as if, yeah, he's already made his mind up where he wants to go. The only stumbling block, the only issue I can foresee is whether we go, okay, 60 million clause, we'll meet that. 8 million in add-ons, depending on if certain targets are met, whatever. Okay, well, if we're notorious for low balling people. We're notorious for it. It's what we do. How much do you want? 20 million. Will you accept 5 million over 7 years? Like that's how we conduct our business. It's how we've always conducted our business. We need to start saying, okay, if that's our main man, let's get him. 60 million, 65, 70, let's get him. If he's the marquee signing, get it done. Then you can sprinkle the squad with other players and improve in other positions. But if this is the man you've earmarked to be the game changer, your marquee signing, then get him, get it done. Don't mess around with it. Don't mess around with the figure. Don't go, oh, you know, would you accept? Just pay the money, because this is what the big teams do. The big teams, the teams that compete, that win things, they say, how much do you want for that player? How much is their release clause? 70 million? Okay, here's 70 million. Now we can negotiate. We don't even get to the negotiation stage because we don't meet the valuation. We've got to start doing it. If we do, if we meet their valuation, I have absolutely no doubt he'll come to us.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Rinketic, are you a little bit, there's part of me that's a little bit worried we're going to have another Madders on our hands, that we're going to sign this guy and we've all hyped him up and he might be a little bit of a letdown? Or do you think this guy is going to be the player we need to sort of bolster our midfield and make that difference?
I think he's the player we need, especially like maybe on the wing.
Yeah, on the wing, yeah.
I'm not happy with the wingers. Like, I know he can play like at the Matters position, but I'd rather have him at the wing right now. That's why he's like one of my top signings. But we have also seen in the end of the day, it's still Daniel Levy. And like, for real, like, I had this talk with someone this morning, like the Dani Olmo thingy. He has his like 60 million release clause for, it's been linked for how long? The release clause is like over in like 2 days. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those, like, how long are we going to drag this on for?
Yeah, I mean, Guna's saying rumours are that they won't be going for a striker, but will go for Eze. Interesting. I don't know. Arsenal seem to be linked with everybody at the minute.
Why would he go to Arsenal when he can come to a club like Spurs?
Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League. I mean, Samantha asked if we'd be happy if we got Tony, Eze, and Gallagher. I personally don't want Gallagher. I don't particularly like him. Anyone got any thoughts on them 3 names?
I don't think Tony is worth it. I think he's a very good footballer. I think his output over the time he's been in the Premier League has been good, and he would be worth a punt if it wasn't 40 million like I said on your stream the other day, Kate, I think 20 million is a bit of a gamble. If he's got issues with addiction, they're hard to kick. Anybody that's got any that's had any form of addiction knows how difficult that is and how tempting it is. So he would need, you'd have to safeguard him. You'd have to do a lot of work to try and make sure that any temptation is limited. But if he has issues with that, if we sign him, even if it was for 20 million, we sign him, we get the deal done, and actually it's come to light that he was betting this season just gone and he's going to be banned for a year, we've got no player for the money laid out. And as in regards to Gallagher, absolutely not. He said he doesn't want to leave. His family are Chelsea through and through. He's not going to give the same. Yes, he's a decent player, but he's not going to give the same effort. He's not going to put in the same effort for Spurs as he does for the club that he loves, that his family love, that he's followed all his life. He's just not going to do it. I don't want him. I don't think he's that marked an improvement on what we've currently got. I would rather spend the money elsewhere. I would rather spend the money on a very good striker, no matter how much that's going to cost, and 2 decent wingers, because I think we're lacking in that area.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Were you going to say St. Martin? You look like you was going to say something.
Yeah, see the Gallagher thing. I don't personally want him. I don't personally like him, and I also agree with AJ that he's giving 100% of everything he's got to the Chelsea cause, and he's been the captain. He's wore that with a badge of honour, and he's given everything. We wouldn't get that player, I don't think. I'd like to think he's professional, but as I say, for me, I don't see it. But I can see what Ange would be looking at, that running around, that effort. But I say, is he taking on that? He's doing that for Chelsea, his boyhood club, the club he loves and dreams of playing for. So for me, if we could swerve it, the links have been so much, it's hard to ignore it. But personally, no, I wouldn't want it. But on the other hand, I could see why Ange would. The Tony thing, I think he is a gamble. I think the player is one of them. Like you love him in your own team, but hate him when the others, like Diogo Costa, and we'd all hated him, but we'd all love him at the same time. And the same others hated Dele Alli, but we loved him. It's that. But I don't think that's what Ange is into. Ange wants that group mentality, all in together. He doesn't like that individual, does he? He might like the little bit of aggression and that, but I think they're both a gamble. Eze all day long. I think that'd be an excellent signing for us. But the other two, I think, are a gamble. But then 150 million, as they said, if we got all 3 of them for 150 million, I think it would improve us, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, there is this as well. Tony's price, he was 80 million, and now he's looking at around 40 million. It does sort of speak volumes.
That's paper talk saying 80 million. When Arsenal wanted him in January, oh yeah, 80 million, that's a bargain. All of a sudden they don't want him no more. Oh, he's only 40. No one knows. It's all just people throwing it out there. We'd probably have to pay 50, 60 for him. So where's the 40 gone? It's one of them. Until it happens, numbers are just pie in the sky, aren't they? Unless they've got a release, you've got an figure to work with. The rest we can all just make it up, can't we?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there was talk yesterday or Monday about Arsenal signing Solanke. I think there's so much rubbish being spouted at the minute, but we'll have to see. Big up, Leo. Good to see you. Tony is also English, so another spot we can give. Yeah, that's true. Drulala says, do you guys think we're looking for a new centre back because Romero will drop into that number 6 role? Rinketic, what do you think?
Not really. I don't think Romero will play in that number six role in general.
No, I agree. I do
may
agree.
I say something? Sorry. May I say something about the Gallagher thing?
Of course you can.
So let's say we buy him for 40, 50. In the end of the day, Chelsea is like one of our biggest rivals. Why would we help them with their FFP problem?
Yeah,
I've been on that train the whole time. They're our biggest rivals. let's say we buy him for, I don't know, 40, 50. They buy like some incredible guy and they run us over with that new player. Like, there's no reason we should look somewhere else than help our biggest rivals with their FFP problems.
Yeah. This here I agree with, and I think Samantha as well. Romero and Van der Ven have got such a great partnership now. Why would Ange move him? I just don't see that happening at all. We have been linked with someone else as well. We're linked with everybody, but apparently we're part of the teams battling to sign Tammy Abraham. Martin is shaking his head. Go on, spill, Martin, spill.
No. Listen, he comes across as a nice bloke, and it ain't what we need. It's just not. You know, you got to look at a striker that's going to. You know, we've all seen it all season. They all interact. They do a little bit, but we missed that key target. I don't think he's it. I don't think he's it. And the money that's been, again, it's pie in the sky with money, but you know, you're talking serious money. It's not. You know, we ain't big players where we just go and splash 80, 90, 100 million on him and go, oh, don't work, get rid of him next year. You know, Ndombele 5 years ago was still our biggest transfer. We ain't smashed it in that 5 years. So why all of a sudden now we're going to start spending silly money on, let's face it, he's an average player. He couldn't get another job in the Premier League yet to go abroad. And I think he's done well since he's been over there. But no, I think we need a little bit better.
Jim, what do you think about Tammy Abraham?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I read yesterday that we are looking for another centre-back.
Yeah.
They want to bring another one in. And I read that, I didn't read nothing about Tammy Abrahams, but I read that the Eze deal, they reckon it's moving.
Yeah.
So I don't know how true it is. And that Chelsea have somehow wrangled their way out this FFP crap somehow. I read that they've pulled some strokes and they're not in as much shit as they were.
Well,
So
sold their old Chelsea to itself. That's what I did.
You know what? I was listening to someone talk about it on YouTube, and I switched it off because it winds me up. They can break the rules and just do shit to get out of it. I don't know how. The guy who was talking about it was blaming the Premier League. He said it's their fault because they didn't lay the rules down good enough, and they've left loopholes for them and City. So anyway, but Tammy Abrahams, is he going to move us forward?
Well,
Might be a nice guy. I'm a nice guy, but put me on the pitch for Tottenham and I'll do shit. So
it's claimed that West Ham and Villa are leading the race, but Spurs also remain an option open to him. So I don't know whether, again, is it just paper talk? I don't know. But it's not somebody that I particularly would like. I don't think he's that level that we need. AJ, Rinketic, either of you like him? I know Ben said that he'd take him.
With Tammy. No, go on, mate. You go first.
I like him. He's strong, powerful, but he's injury prone. Yeah. So am I willing to spend 40, 50 million on an injury prone player? No.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. What was you going to say, AJ?
I was going to say, if the choice was between Solanke and Abraham, it would be Solanke all day, every day, twice on a Sunday. I think he's really proved himself and found his feet this season in a very, very poor team. I think he's done really well and scored all manner of goals. And he's tough. He battles. And I can't remember the last time he got injured. So I would take Solanke over him. Is Solanke the finished article? No, obviously not. And would it be a gamble? Yes, because he's had one decent season. But if this is him now, his true form, how he's going to play, being English, being young, I think it's worth the punt. In regards to the comment earlier about Romero playing as a 6. If you play him as a 6, he could probably do the job as a 6, but you lose that quality at centre half. But I think we do need to. Buying another solid centre half isn't a bad shout, and I think Murillo is a very, very, very good, very underrated defender. I wouldn't be too upset if we signed him.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting transfer window. Son has come out and spoken about rumours that he could be leaving because apparently Jose Mourinho wants him at Fenerbahce. He said that he feels uncomfortable with speculation over his future and insists that he is going nowhere. He said that I haven't had any exchanges with any other club. I don't have anything to say. I feel uncomfortable with the situation. Money is not important to me. The most important thing is to play in a league that I enjoy playing in, and I have so much more I want to accomplish in the Premier League. Jimbo, I'm guessing you're not surprised that Sonny has said that he is going nowhere.
No, of course not. He's Tottenham through and through. No, I don't even, when it comes up about Sonny, I don't even read it, Kate, because I just know it's going to be a load of crap. But I was just looking at the chat, and there's mixed views about Abrahams.
Yeah.
And some people like him, some people are not keen on him. But I just think this is a window that we can't buy average or above average players. We need to go out and buy some real good proper players if we're going to move forward. Otherwise, it's just going to be another circle, you know, of what we've been doing with managers and players, and they need to get this window right. And I think we need an upgrade on Abrahams, if you know, and Tony. If Tony come in, I'm not sure how I'd feel, but they need to go out and spend the money and get the top players in if we want to move forward. I'll be very disappointed if we don't.
Martin, are you one of the people that was thinking maybe we should cash in on Sonny this window, or are you glad he's staying?
He ain't going nowhere, regardless of what anyone thinks of him. He loved it there. He's loved there. All the fans fly from over Korea to see him. He's absolute god. He's comfortable there. Do you know what I mean? I can't see him ever leaving, and I think Daniel Levy would break the bank to keep him. But all that aside, him as a person, as last window with the Harry Kane thing, we never heard nothing from him. Sonny got linked. Next morning, bang, he's out. Nope, staying, not going. You've got to admire that. You know, he wants to be here, which is one thing. You know, do we think he could play better? Do we think he's putting in the effort? Is he played in the right position? All them things, all them variables don't matter. But for him, on a personal level, he's now captain of the club. He's loved and worshipped there. You know, I can see why he wants to stay. You know, and if let's look at it in a positive way. If he thinks he's got more to bring at the club, then bring us the silverware and you all stand up on the top of Wembley. Get your arms in the air with that bit of silverware. That's your target. If that's what you're saying, the only thing what he wants to achieve more in the game at Tottenham, well, that is it. The next step now, he is the captain. Walk up the steps and pick us a trophy up in the air and make it happen. You know, but as I say, on a personal level for him, I congratulate him for straight away coming out, quashing the rumours with Qatar and all that and Saudi Arabia and going, nope, not having it. You know, and I like that about him. You know, I think his performances in the last 2 years could be better. Of course they are. But on a personal level, I commend him for the person he is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Rinketic, are you, like I said, are you one of these that wanted to cash in on Sonny, or are you pleased he's staying and wants to sort of take us to the next level?
It depends how much. But in the end of the day, no, the thing is, like, it depends if it's like 50, 60 from a Saudi club or something, like, then yes, but we are still struggling with our wingers. Imagine the Sonny might be like old-ish. Imagine our forwards without Sonny.
Yeah.
Like, we will be like 10 and lower team. Like just attacking like part, and that's not that. And we're supposed to be like a top contender and trophy winner. trophy-winning team, and yeah. Also, I don't think Levy would let him go either because of the Asian money and the TV rights and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. AJ, what about you with Sonny?
I think if the right money is there for any player, you've got to do business. And he fell off a cliff last season. he fell off a cliff last season. I don't think the captaincy is right for him, but I absolutely love the guy. To come out straight away when there are suggestions, rumours that people might be in for you, and to declare basically I'm going nowhere, I'm happy where I am, and put those it makes everybody happy, and that's a good thing. It shows that he wants to be there. Levy will never let him go. He'll still be there when he's 80. So in some fashion, because he's a cash cow, and Levy knows that that's a huge income by keeping Son on the books. He knows that. Is he going to earn more? Are the club going to be better by selling him than having him there doing the sponsorship, getting the shirt sales in? Probably not. The only way I'd have sold him is if we'd have had the Saudis come in 60, 65 million to take him like as a marquee signing for their league. Because let's face it, anywhere Son plays, that's going to draw money. Yeah, you're going to have so many eyes watching him. If that deal had come in and we'd have gone, okay, we'll take that 65 million and we'll put another 30, 40 towards it, and we will go out and we will get a showstopper, a human highlight reel of a winger, one that is going to rip the league up and absolutely excite people on a regular basis, then it would be worth doing. But given what Sonny is, how he is, who he is, I think I'm happy for him to stay at the club. I'm happy for him to be here. A player that loves the club is going to give more than any top draw signing. A player that you see all these academy players that come through for other teams and they play like their lives depend on it because the club means something to them. So you can't really put a price on that. But I would hope that next season Sonny is stripped of the captaincy, maybe an ambassadorial role, maybe sort of club captain sort of thing, but on the pitch where it matters, where you've got a lead, I just don't think it's for him.
Do you mean before the season starts?
What? Like take his captaincy away?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That's what I was coming on to that next. So you've linked it up nicely, AJ. Rinketic, how do you feel about Sonny as captain? I can understand why people don't like him as captain, but what's your thoughts?
Is there anyone better? I wanted to ask AJ that. Who would you give it to?
I'd give it to Romero. I'd make him captain. I think Porro's got a lot of Porro. I think needs probably another season, but Porro is you can see the fight. That man blocks a ball and he's fist pumping, turning to the crowd, beating his chest. It means as much to him to clear, to block, as it does for a forward to score. You want players this is just me, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's fine. But for me, I want a player that either leads by example, in which you're going to get an 8 or 9 out of 10 performance every game, or a player that when things are going against you can drag you by the scruff of your neck, pick you out of the hole and frog march you across the finishing line. Son is neither of those. I love him. I think he's an absolutely amazing player. I think what he's achieved and what he's given the club, amazing. But he doesn't fall into either of those categories for me.
I actually agree with this statement.
So you also would take the captaincy off him as well?
Yeah. Now when AJ talked about Romero and pouring that, Romero was always like 50-50, but Porro, but I'm gonna bring in okay, this is kind of like out of the box, but in, let's say, hockey, for example, the captain is not always the best like player. So in some teams, they give like the captaincy to someone who's willing to punch like an opponent in the face. Yeah, like one of the smaller, like one of the middle teams, the captain is legit. Like he's captain because he's willing to stick up for his team, work hard, and just punch someone in the face if needed. To be like, I'm not gonna let you touch him, or I'm not gonna let you hurt him, or that kind of stuff. And I that's what I kind of see with like Romero in some cases.
Yeah. Big up, Chang. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling better. So good to see you back on the show.
Right,
how are you feeling?
I am feeling a lot better, but I need to apologize for missing out on the Monday show 48 hours earlier. I tried my level best to get myself on the show by hook or by crook, but sadly, it was just one battle too much for me. But I'm glad to be back, albeit it's on a Wednesday on this members calling show. And by the way, before I do continue, greetings, Mr. Rinkatic, Mr. Knightsbridge, Mr. AJ, and also Mr. Boxel. I've been listening on to the show for a good half hour or so now since I got off work, and everything in this show has been just wow. It's been eye-opening, put it this way, from discussing about Son, whether Son needs to be sold, captaincy. There's so many things. Eze, how United and Spurs are betting up for Eze. But I will just add this very quickly about Son. I would like to say this about Son and his captaincy potential, or rather what I feel should be captain material for Spurs moving forward if Big Ange is indeed serious about challenging. There are two ways of looking at Son currently right now, or what we saw the season past as club captain, and then compare that to what he's doing for South Korea on a national level. For Spurs on a club level in Britain, sad to say, I feel Son doesn't cut it for me, because on a very purely on captaincy merit, put this way, Son, yes, he is charismatic, but he's not the kind of player who would actually lead by example if and when a team finds himself behind, or when they really need a big kick up the back to get themselves going, or if they need someone to really just grab your teammates by the scruff of the neck and just drag you along across the finish line. Son isn't that kind of player, unfortunately, maybe because of his personality, maybe because of his character, or maybe because of who he is as a person. But if you talk in terms of being around his fellow countrymen, people who really understand him, people who can speak his lingo, people who can bond with him on a how to say this, on a different plane, not just among clubmates, but among your own countrymen, then yes, he will get the job done as national captain. For Spurs moving forward, I think it's only about a matter of time before he then hands the captaincy over to someone like a Romero, or someone even better than Romero if they can find someone of that caliber. For now, if Big Ange trusts Son as our club captain, I would stick with Son, but only for the time being, because going forward, I think we need someone like a Cristiano Romero to take over that club captaincy sooner rather than later. So because of that, I would trust to Big Ange then to make up his mind if and when he does decide to transfer that captain's armband over to Romero. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Thank you very much, Chang.
Can I have a say?
Yeah, I'm going to Martin next, and you're last, James.
Oh,
so
right,
yeah, just wait your turn.
Right.
Always
me in the wall having a go.
Martin, what do you think about this whole captaincy debate?
I think last year, I think Ange was sort of looking at it, and I thought it was the best thing for him to do. A year down the line, I'd like to think he might change it up a bit. I say we grew up in an era. I did. I'm not speaking for anyone else, but we grew up in an era where the captain was the leader. When you looked around, and Gary Mabbott, it was all that sort of stuff. I think we still hang on to that. The players have changed, their mentality's changed. They're a bit more protected. They're a bit more cushioned. They don't like to be screamed at and shouted at. And, you know, Alex Ferguson's kicking the football boots and whatever, air dryers, whatever he done. All them days are gone. So is Sonny the new age sort of captain that, you know, let's all be nice and friendly. Let's all get together, where we still see it. So you need to kick up the arse and someone to scream and shout down your neck. But that's us as fans. As me personally, I'll still, you know, whatever Sonny's done for our club and all that, I don't think he's the captain that I want. But then they say that with Harry Kane, he's quiet, he leads by example, you know, in the England squad and all that. That's how they are these days. The Roy Keanes, the Tony Adams, the Mavericks, they're gone. We get Romero, which is the nearest thing to everyone goes, oh, he's a hothead, he's a red card waiting to happen, he's this. It's all changed for me. So I don't know. I still look through the old eyes where I think a leader needs to stand out, put his chest out, put his shoulders back, and show the team this is what I'm made of. But that's us as fans, and I don't think the players like that. They all go running to Daniel. Oh, Daniel, he said this to me. He said that. We've seen it. We've seen it on the All or Nothing. It's what happens. Don't like when the manager says, "Well, I'm going to see Daniel." Like it's. Yeah, they're not built like, you know, what they was in the olden days, and that's in life as well as football. So
yeah, I hear you. Jimbo, come on then, give us your thoughts.
I just want to tell Real Gooner, no, I didn't give her breakfast in bed. She wanted sex and I said no, so she got the hump with me.
I don't think that's ever happened in our relationship, Jim. I don't think that's ever happened. So don't make stories up. Big up, Danny Kiriaka. Good to see you. Yeah, what's your views on Sonny, Jimbo?
He should be captain. All this bullshit about taking the captaincy away from him. You're all deluded. The lot of you. All five of you.
I haven't said anything yet.
Of course he should be our captain. He's the most loyal player we've ever had. Well, in the Premiership era, one of the most loyal players we've had. And you see him get the hump with them and have a go at them. You know, we don't see what happens behind closed doors, but I've seen him on the pitch having a go at them. And of course, he should be captain. He's loyal, loves the club, bleeds blue, and it shouldn't even be a debate to take the captaincy away from him. I'm sorry, there shouldn't be. Well, what are you going to put? What are you going to do? Give it to Romero, and then 5 games in he gets sent off, or you know, and then he moves down to someone else. No, Sonny should be the captain. His ears must be burning this morning with you, like I tell you.
I personally are kind of on the same wavelength as Steve D. I don't think a captain means as much as it used to. I don't think we have the likes of the Vieiras and the Keanes who grabs them by the scruff of the neck. So I don't really care who's captain anymore. I don't think if he is going to change it, and if he does take Son away, he's got to take it off of Maddison as well. Because I don't think Madders has done anything to warrant being vice captain.
Maddison isn't a leader.
No, exactly that.
I agree with that.
But I mean, it'll be, whether he'll change it, I don't know. And but I don't think there's that much in it anymore. Last time I said Son shouldn't be captain, I got told I was racist. So I'm sitting on the proverbial fence this time and not saying anything. Can
I just say, there's no reason, right, for it to be taken away from him.
Yeah,
no reason at all. There's no. He's our leader.
I disagree, Jim. I disagree, mate.
Well, let me finish first, and you can have your say, AJ. He's done nothing to deserve having taken away. I've seen him having a go at players and shouting at them. I just think that he is Tottenham Hotspur and he deserves that band. That's me.
Now, AJ, you can have yours.
I love the player. I think I love him and everything. What he is and the loyalty he's shown to the club is amazing. But you can't be sentimental in football. You can't give a player a new contract because you like the fact they've been loyal. You can't give a player the captaincy because you like the fact they've been loyal. If they're not good enough, and as Chang was saying, for his country, it's totally different because there isn't that breakdown in communication. There isn't that uncertainty. Players players from the Orient, they are devoted, absolutely devoted 100% of the time. They give everything as soon as they step on the pitch. The same can't be said of English players. English players play how they want, when they want, who's watching, can I get a big money move? It's just it's a different sort of mentality. For me, Son is an incredible player, but this season, his performances haven't warranted him being branded the leader, the captain. And if he has been, it's terrible. You're meant to lead by example. And a lot of the time I've seen him hands on hips, standing around, not doing anything, not leading. Go and get in their faces. Scream at them constantly. If your team are getting pumped 2, 3, 4-0, don't walk around with your hands on your hips. Don't look to the sky. Grab hold of your players, shake some sense into them. You either lead by example and put in a 9 out of 10 performance every game, or you lead by grabbing your players and you drag them over the finishing line. Son may have a little bit of fight in him, but it's too inconsistent in my opinion. I love the guy, but I would give it to Romero, Porro, maybe Bentancur if Bentancur can establish himself back in the team and be playing regularly.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying the same thing, that the pressure on Son, which I did say to you a few times, Jim, it looks like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's captain for his national team. He's captain for the club. Maybe we'll see a freer Sonny if he does take the captaincy away. I don't know. But I think it's always going to be one that divides the fan base. But there's no debating. He's very loyal and he's a great guy. I'm not sure he's worthy captain. But
I think that Danny Kiriakou is just bang on.
Yeah, about him being
Absolutely bang on.
mollycoddled. Yeah. As my dad said, players these days are a bunch of softies, pushovers, mollycoddled way too much, overpaid. 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
100%.
I shan't read this one out, but yeah, I agree with your dad, Danny. He sounds like my sort of guy, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, on Monday I said how funny we was linked with En-Nesyri, and now apparently he's going Bayern. Well, according to reports today, no, he isn't. Tottenham are leading the race to sign Seville star Youssef En-Nesyri amid interest from Man United. Apparently it's going to cost around £17 million, and he has said that he finds the idea of going to Spurs more attractive than going to Manchester United. Spurs could include Bryan Hill as part of the deal, knocking the price down, which is something that Seville are happy with. Change, you know anything about this guy? I don't think I've spoke to you about him.
I believe we might have discussed En-Nesyri. I believe it was either the second or third week after the season ended, immediately after the Newcastle friendly. I did speak about this Moroccan from Sevilla, whom I felt fit the bill of playing up front alongside, say, either Richarlison or Son, depending on who our front three is going to be on a day. But if it comes at a paltry 15 to 20 million pounds, I'd say go for him. Because even if he doesn't put up a very consistent performance game in, game out, he can be our new super sub up front in place of Richarlison. Think of him as a Moroccan Brennan Johnson, who can play on either wing and can also play up front as well. And from what I've seen anyway of him over at Sevilla in the La Liga, I would say that he has a goal in him every other game. Given his form of late as well, I think he has a lot more to come for someone of his age. And under Big Ange, I really can see him flourishing. So if he is going to cost the kind of sum that Sevilla are holding up for, get him. He's going to be a massive upgrade over Timo Werner. Of this, I can absolutely guarantee you. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Well, excellent. AJ, have you got any thoughts on this guy?
I don't know anything about him. I literally know nothing about this guy. All I will say is that if there's an opportunity to get Bryan Hill off the books and you can use him as a sweetener to secure a player, if this player is the one we want. If he is good enough, if all the metrics used to determine on whether or not a player is going to be the right fit for the club, if he meets all of them and we want him, use Brian Hill to get him solves two issues, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean he's. I'm just looking at him now. He's 27. He doesn't. When you look at his stats and things, he doesn't fill me like with. I'm not excited particularly about getting this guy. I'm not going to lie, but Rinketic, have you got any thoughts about him or?
I know he's one of the best headers in the world.
Wow, well that's good to know.
Yeah, so he could I don't mind him getting him like we got Llorente. We get like a main guy, and then we have like him. I don't want him to be like the main striker, but he's better than Richarlison and Son as the striker right now, to be honest.
Yeah, it says here in 23-24 he's played 33 matches, scored 16 goals, 2 assists, but that was in La Liga. Jim, Martin, anything to add on this guy or?
Go on, Martin. You go first.
Well, as the channel's Spanish correspondent, I did go to Real Madrid Sevilla game. I didn't think he did too much, if I can remember right. I think he got subbed off for Alejo Valise. So that's all I can really say on it, to be honest with you. I don't really
thanks
know
for that. That's put me right
well,
off straight.
I told you it. I just said I was a correspondent.
Who knows whether we'll get this guy? I don't know, but we was linked. Bayern had been linked, then we were linked again. It's bonkers, really.
I was actually reading about him this morning.
Yeah,
and Rinketic's right. Well, I wasn't reading. I was listening to someone talk about him, and they said that he's fantastic in the air. That he would solve a lot of our problems in the air. But I think he scored. I think they said he scored 16 goals last season. But he's spoke quite highly of. So, but he's 27, I believe.
Yes,
Someone
he
said,
is.
yeah, 29. I think he's 27. But it's funny. I was only listening to someone talk about him this morning. But look, at the end of the day, I think buying someone that's coming into the Premier League from abroad is always a risk. You never know, because there's been players out there that have banged in 20-odd goals a season and then come to the Premier League. Then we have Jensen. He was banging them in for fun abroad. Come to the Premier League, and the other one starts with S. I can't remember his name.
Soldado.
And then they come in, they can't do it. So I think it's always a risk buying abroad. I think if we're going to go for someone like that, we're better off going for Tony.
I'm fed up with Arsenal fans trying to throw Nketiah our way. We don't bloody want him, please.
We'll take the Penguin. We'll take the Penguin. We don't want a player.
We've got a pigeon and we'll have a penguin and all. We've got a couple of questions here before we move on to the Euros. Realistically, what striker would everyone be happy with? Obviously, I could sit here and say Isak, but I don't think that's someone realistic. Chang, is there someone that you think I'd love to have him at Spurs?
Wow. Jota is one I would really love from Spurs, assuming he wants to leave behind the Middle East. He wants to, forego his handsome wages in the Middle East and come to N17. I will fancy Jota. The other one would be Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord. If Feyenoord want to do a deal for him, I would absolutely love Santiago Jimenez. Or worst come to worst, and this wouldn't be completely out of the realms of impossibility, getting someone like a Robert Lewandowski from Barcelona. I know he is aging. I know he has maybe only about a year or two left before he really calls it a day. But someone like a Robert Lewandowski would definitely elevate not only Spurs but the entire Premier League as well. So these are my three top picks if I could choose any of these three.
Yeah, good shout. Big up Mio. He's been a member for 7 months. Nice to see you. Not seen you for ages. Moving on to you, AJ. Realistically, if there was a striker you could bring into Spurs, who would it be?
First striker I would bring in, if money wasn't an object, it would be Isak. I think he's the best striker in the league. He's not the best finisher. Obviously, that's the man mount in the Norwegian Viking, the nutcase. But with the exception of his finishing, he's a below average striker. Isak is just incredible, but Newcastle aren't going to sell him. And if they were forced to, you're looking at £100 million easily before you're even tempting them. There'd have to be something seriously wrong for them to let him go. Jimenez is a goal machine, but if you sign a player from abroad, can they cut it in the Premier League? We've seen this time and time again. Players that are highly respected in their leagues have come over, and it always seems to be Spurs that it happens to. Dutch league, Spanish league, it doesn't matter. We'll sign a striker and we get them and they don't perform for whatever reason. So I would say Isak if we had the money, which I don't think any club do, and Jimenez at taking a gamble.
Yeah. Rinketic, same, or have you got a different idea for who you'd like as a striker?
Jimenez. Also, this is kind of under the radar. Konate from Salzburg.
Okay.
I think it's one of those, like, because Levy won't go big anyway.
Yeah.
Because he has kind of proven in, I'm just checking, but he has kind of proven, like, overall he can score. He scored 20 and 29, like, I know it's Austrian Bundesliga, but then again, Šeško did the same, and a lot of players does the same, so yeah.
Okay. Martin, anyone tickle your fancy?
Not really. If you look at it, right, in the top 5 leagues, you're looking at 100 teams. We're talking the same 4 or 5 names get banded around. That's like, so there's 95 other teams without a top striker, let's say. Right? It's, for me, I think the striker market is dead or overpriced. I don't think there's that many out there. If you're going to gamble on, I think, Jimenez is a shout. But again, I think anyone we buy up front will be a gamble. Because if they're proven, like Isak and Heung-min and all these sort of people, you're in the 120s. We ain't paying that. No. Just get all that stuff. Right, and then Vlahovic, or whatever his name is, if he goes and scores in the first game, go and stick another 20 on him. We're just priced out of a top-class striker. We let one of the best in the world go. We're never going to replace that. We all have to swallow that. And we are looking in second and third tier for strikers, and that comes with a decent value and a big gamble. So, anyone that we want, we'd all sit and say Isak and all that, but it's pie in the sky. We're all dreaming, So I just think any of them's a gamble. We took 60 million on Richie, gamble, ain't paid off. How many more gambles can you keep trying? Because we ain't going to buy the proven or the ones that holding that money to establish, that 20 to 30 goals. It ain't going to happen. We're never going to have one. We had the best one and we've let him go. And, all right, he wanted to go. It's not saying that we didn't do anything to keep him, but that's where we're at. And I don't think we're ever going to get another one. So we're in that second, third tier bracket, and you take a chance time, innit? It's nothing. You've got no guarantees.
Yeah. Do you have any names, or are you the same?
Well, I mean, I don't know what's happened to Ferguson. I mean, he was on everyone's lips, wasn't he? To people wanted him, and he seems to have. You don't hear him banded around anymore. But look, you got to weigh it up. Would it be better to have Tony for around 40 if you could get him for 35, 40 million? He's going to score you some goals. He's going to get you at least 10, 15 goals without any doubt, right? And then spend the money elsewhere to strengthen in other places. You've got to weigh up prices as well. It's all right wanting a striker that's 100 million. They say Levy did pay it. It's going to leave us short for money for other spots. So maybe we should take a chance and go and get Tony and spend money elsewhere, strengthen elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think I would rather take Tony than a striker that's never been in the Premier League.
He'll definitely score. He'll definitely score for
He'll
us.
score you 10, 15 goals minimum.
Yeah.
There's no argument about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
an
a hard
interesting
one.
Yeah.
It's a
it
hard
is.
one, but the big thing, Kate, is the money side. How much money have we got to spend? It's banded around that we've got around 130 plus what we sell.
Yeah.
So if you spend 40 on Tony, it leaves a nice chunk to strengthen in other places. If you go and spend 60, 70, I mean, if you bought Eze, right? Say you bought Eze and you bought Tony, that's a massive chunk of the money gone. But them two are going to make it.
That's 100 million if it gone straight away.
Yeah, but they're going to make a difference, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
And then you've got the 30 and whatever you sell. We're going to sell, I would say 60, 70 million of players. I'd be surprised if we never. You know, you got Højbjerg, he's going to be 20, at least 20. Then you got Emerson, that's another 20. You know,
But they've said that they'll let Emerson go for 17 mil. That's what they want for him.
All right, so give or take a bit. I mean, what's Højbjerg going to be? He's going to be between 20 and 25, I would imagine.
What pence?
So you're talking nearly 40 million there. So sell a few other players. You're talking 50, 60 million on top of the 30 that's left.
Yeah. Big up, Ben. Been a member for 7 months. Say woo. Danny Kiriakou says, how would you guys feel if we don't sign another striker and we lined up at the start of the season with Timo, Son and Kulu or Johnson? Oh God, that's how I'd feel.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, go on.
I would be absolutely gutted if we don't buy another striker, and it tells me if we don't buy a striker, it tells me that we're not serious.
Fair 100%. Enough.
And you've got to put Richie in there as well.
Yeah, we've got Richie as well. Don't forget King Richie.
Don't forget
that. Chang, thoughts?
Where do I even begin? It's gonna be, I don't know. I really thought that this would be the season, this would be the summer that Big Ange gets back, and if you don't get a striker, then it's clear, it's plain and clear for all to see that Daniel Levy is never going to back any managers till the cows come home or till he leaves the club. So I really hope this isn't the case, because I can actually see revolts. I can actually see an open revolt taking place outside the stadium if you don't get the tried and proven striker to supplement Richarlison. Because last season was a massive let up, almost I could say, how we even managed to get fifth. The way we completely fell off the last 2 or 3 months of the last season. So for me, it's absolutely pivotal. You could say the striker is the one position I really want to be reinforced more than any other position, more than the wingers, more than the defenders, more than the midfielders. If there is one position and one position only that we do strengthen, let it be the striker department.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are feeling that. Big up Nathan for the super chat. Says Eze, Tony, Gallagher, the sale of Deadwoods plus Pierre, bringing in proper backups, keeping Richie equals a title winning team. Oh, that sounds a little bit like the sort of delusion that Jim would spout. Apparently, Jimmy, you're muted.
I was just thinking, I like this super chat. Me.
Apparently, Ben was saying we want Spurs want 10 million for Højbjerg. But
no, they get more than that, Kate.
Will they though? No one in Europe's got much money. I know that much. But big up to the Hotspur hippie and GBC fan as well, who have both come in. We'll see. Look, at the end of the day, we'll see what they do. How would you feel if we win the quadruple? It's all hypotheticals, man. Yes, the quad is on.
mean? How we're going to learn how it feels in the season?
You're so funny.
It must
I
be
love
great
it.
to live on their planet. It must be
I
so
know.
good.
I
I'll
know.
tell you.
Big up,
Surrounded
Steve.
by clouds and fairies and all that in his happy little life, flying around like monkey magic on his cloud, you know, going where he wants.
I used to love that program. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Now you've got one.
Yeah, now I've got my own one. Angus, is Mbappe going to be starting for you? Oh no, I just remembered he didn't sign in the end.
That's right, Angus. Maybe when you line up against us with Mbappe and Sheshko, no, actually, neither of them want to come to you. That's right. I remember that now. I remember that. But thank you for your consideration.
Yeah, exactly. Fenerbahce have offered 8 million for Højbjerg. Napoli, Atleti also interested. Okay. Ellie says no delusion. There's optimism. Delusion is for the ifs, buts, and monkey nuts. Based on having faulty judgment mistake. Yeah, Nithin. I was only joking, Nithin. I was only joking. Jimbo lives on your planet as well, and I hope you both are right. It's beautiful, man. Trip Tacky is a pain in the arse, though. Yeah. I love it. I love the optimism at the start of the season when everything's at a level playing field and the optimism goes through the roof. I love it. Jimbo will be bouncing off the walls saying Tottenham are winning the quad before long. Who's been the best Spurs coach since you started supporting Spurs? My favourite's been Poch, I'm afraid. Controversial probably, but my favourite's been Poch because he made me believe we could beat anyone. Jimbo?
Since I've been supporting Spurs or the Premier League.
No, since you've been supporting Spurs.
Oh, bloody hell. I can't even remember back that far.
During the war.
I'm going to go. I don't know, Kate.
Well,
I'm going to go with Harry Redknapp because I loved him. I loved Harry, and I loved the twitches, and I loved the windows when he was in his car, putting his head out, chatting away. I always got a buzz with Harry, a big buzz. But what's it called? I can't remember his name now. It's gone. Go on, carry on.
Martin, who's been your favourite coach since you've been supporting Spurs?
I've got two. It was Glenn Hoddle because he was just my childhood hero and I just loved everything about him. And when he came in, you know, having that representing us was just it for me. But on the feel-good factor and the belief side of it, I'm a UK on the Poch thing. So it was because it was a great time and I was gutted when he left. You know what I mean? I understand he had to go at that time and all that, but then, you know, I drove up to Madrid and was part of, you know, in the fan zone. I didn't have a ticket, but I was up there and doing all that, and it was just unbelievable that we were there and that the feeling, and we was like second and third, and you know we should have won them. You know, there's no excuses, but that time, without winning anything, which all the others ain't really won anything, so without winning anything, Poch was the best time. But my love for Glenn Hoddle was it for me.
Yeah.
Can I say his name's gone again?
Keith Birkinshaw?
Yeah, Birkinshaw. Keith Birkinshaw, that's it. That's my hippie. Thank you. Keith Birkinshaw, I loved him.
Yeah.
Loved him.
I met him as well, Jimbo.
I met him, yeah.
Yeah. Chang, who's been your favourite coach?
This is going to surprise a lot of people, but the reason why I even fell in love with Spurs was because this manager led us to our last FA Cup victory, and that manager is sadly the recently deceased Terry Venables, the late great Terry Venables. He would be my pick as my favourite manager. I mean, how he got sacked by Lord Sugar, I think it was in the mid-90s. Shortly after we last won the FA Cup, was a crying shame. And I think he was replaced by George Graham of all people as well. That is so strange for me. But for me, my choice would be Terry Venables.
That's a good shout, Chang. He was one of my favourites as well. AJ, what about you?
I've got three. They're quite close together, but one just pips the other two, and that's Harry Redknapp, who was third, because I just loved how he was. Bit of a geezer, Harry Redknapp, didn't he? Love him. Second is Martin Jol. I loved Martin Jol. Absolutely loved him. But first has got to be Poch, because yes, we keep getting reminded by many other fans as well as Spurs fans, but we won nothing under Poch. No, but he allowed us to believe we could. He got us to the point where we could have. But when the time came for the investment to take us to that next step, it never came. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, what might have been. But of any manager in Tottenham history, especially in recent times, Premier League era, he has been the one that has put us on the doorstep of the Giants, but we never got the investment to take us over that threshold. So for me, Poch.
Yeah.
He never took us over the threshold either.
Rinketti, what about you?
Poch, probably, because I don't have a lot of managers to pick from.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Poch took us all to places we didn't think we'd go. But they're probably my three. In fact, it might have been Poch, Redknapp, and Venables, I think. But big up to Lee Smithy Smith. The last thing I wanted to talk about was obviously this Friday. Hang on, before we go on to that, for me, this is an easy question because I think it's Sir Alex Ferguson. Is everyone agreed, or is there anyone who thinks it?
Alex Ferguson, without a doubt. I mean, Pep is quality, and of this generation of managers, he is far above anybody else. But if you're going to compare the two, it's Alex Ferguson by a country mile, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
The level he put into chasing the players around nightclubs, knowing all about their families, he put his heart and soul into that, and he deserved everything he got. We all hated it at the time, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, like him or loathe him, you can't knock him.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, this week, this Friday, the Euro starts. Woohoo! Anyone who's a member on the channel, don't forget there's a post on the community page where you can choose who you think's going to win, and the winner. If there's more than one person, there's quite a few people that have chosen France, for example. If France win the Euros, we'll put you all in a hat and choose a winner, and you'll win a prize.
Yeah, I said it first, Kate, so I'll win if it's France. I was first one in.
It closes tomorrow, ready for the Euros on Friday. So make sure if you haven't, you go over because it's free to all our members. But Euros starts Friday. Chang, I'm going to come to you first. How are you feeling about the Euros? What do you give England chances, and who do you fancy to win it?
Wow, this Euros, I think I couldn't have been more disinterested in an international tournament, or rather a continental tournament, primarily because Spurs don't have any English players representing England, and it's such a waste, really, such a shame. I believe we did touch a bit on this last Friday, I think it was, when I did speak about how we had the likes of Trippier, Ali, Harry Winks, and Kane, just to name a few, and how they all took penalties against Colombia in that World Cup. And however many years later now, we don't have a single, English player representing England for Spurs. So I think, for me, I feel that England might just scrape through to the knockout rounds. But once it gets to the proper knockout rounds, I think they're going to struggle a bit. Because if you look at the midfield department alone, the midfield department for England is kind of strange in the sense there are, I think, only 5 or even 6 midfielders for Southgate to choose from, so there's going to be an issue if they do pick up any suspensions or injuries as the tournament progresses. But my favorite to lift the Euros, I think I said it on Friday as well. I'm actually backing Germany to come good at home in their own home tournament. So Germany might just do it. You never know. So that would be my pick.
I used to like you, Chang.
AJ, what's your thoughts on the Euros? Who do you think is going to win, and what do you think of England's chances?
I think France are going to win. I think they've got an incredible team. Will they perform? You can have a great team on paper, but whether or not you perform is a totally different matter. France on paper are one of the best teams, but somebody else that caught my eye recently was the Netherlands. Holland look absolutely incredible, and I do believe they played the same team we played that beat us 1-0 and took them apart. They look incredible. Under Gareth Southgate, we won't win anything. We have got such a great attacking team. We've got a very strong team. The defence is a little bit weak, but our forward line and our midfield, and we're not going to get anywhere near the final because of Gareth Southgate. He's not the right manager. He plays a very static, boring style of football, and with the players we've got, you need to be free flowing. You need to be on the front foot. You need to be attack, and that's just not how he operates. And I don't see us we won't even make the semis.
Well, I'm not going to say it till the end, but go on, Martin. You go next.
Well, I just agree with AJ. We've got, like I say, on paper is a different thing to playing on a pitch, but on paper, our midfield and our attacking is the best we've ever had in a long while. And then our weakest point is the defence, and yet we've got a manager that doesn't play attacking football, so it don't work. So already on the back foot, forget the names, forget the players, forget what they can do. It ain't going to happen. If it does, I'll be pleasantly surprised. But for me, I think on paper, if we're just doing it on the paper thing, you got to look at the likes of, as I say, France, Netherlands, Spain. You know, they've all got good teams. And I say, I think, you know, with us, just to focus on us, I think we've got the players to do it. But I just don't think we have the manager, and I think we'll really struggle.
Yeah. Jimbo, go on, come on. We all know you're going to say
Come on, England. Of course we're going to win it. Have some bloody faith, you lot. Go on, we've got a good team. We've got a good... Why shouldn't we win it? Of course we will.
Because we've got a terrible manager.
Took us to a semi-final. Right? Yeah, we'll get it right this time. Come on, England. I'll be screaming at the telly.
I mean, I don't know if anyone else has said. Someone said France. AJ said France. I don't know if anyone else did, but that's who my tip is to win it. I don't get England
for the Euros. Tottenham for the quad.
Kate, I might have to change from France to Netherlands. I'm not sure yet.
Why?
Because Netherlands look good, very good.
Oh, okay. I don't see England even getting to the final. I don't know about anything else, let alone winning it. Daniela said, what about Italy? Anyone give Italy a chance?
Yeah.
They have a good squad.
Yeah. So they've got a good squad. I know Chang said Germany, but isn't it unusual for the home nation to win the Euros? Or is that, have I made that up in my brain? Anyone know?
The only issue with Germany, I think, is they don't have an experienced striker. Let's put it that way.
Right, okay.
Or Niklas Füllkrug, he is ish, but he has only been on the top high level for 2 years. And then they have Kai Havertz. Well, he is what he is. And then they have Biber. I believe Biber could be an extremely good striker in the future, but he's not there yet. That's why I kind of believe Germany, midfield, defense, goalie, is pretty strong. but in general, Miller maybe, but not really. He's not even a striker anymore. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. It's 40 years since the host nation won the Euros.
So the three nations have won the Euros as hosts: Spain in '64, Italy in '68, and France in '84. And three more have made it to the final.
Oh, we're going to win it then.
Only to lose. Belgium lost in 1980, Portugal 2004, France 2016.
There we go.
Didn't
It's
Greece
coming on,
win
Jim.
it
It's
as
coming
host?
on.
What was that,
I
Chad?
remember something like Greece won the Euros as host, right? Did Greece win the Euros as host?
They didn't say they were hosts.
I
The
don't know.
24 one. 2004.
I remember Greece won it, but were they hosts at that time, or they weren't hosts?
Oh no, they were in Portugal.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So they weren't hosts.
Thank you for clearing that up.
It's been coming home for decades. Is it on its way round from Pluto? I just can't see us winning anything under Southgate. I think he's useless. A question here that I missed as well. Cole said, do you think Porro could push up and play wing if we found another right back? Jimbo, you've been saying this for a while.
I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that, Cole, him pushed up and we buy another wing back. I really would. I said it last season.
Yeah.
His crossing of the ball is probably the best in our team of putting the ball in. So I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
he's definitely better than Kula and Johnson up there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like you can see, I know he's got his defensive job to do, but you see he prefers that forward, and he's like running back late, but he prefers to be up that top half of the pitch.
Yeah.
You can just see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else has he got to put behind him? That's been the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, unless we get, like they say, another right back. But he's got such a good cross on him, Porro. I'd like to see what happens if you put him there, to be fair. And also, this is a good point. Do you think we're not going for a striker as the plans for Mikey Moore and Will Lancashire to come into the first team for cover for Richie? Now, you were saying, was it you saying to me yesterday, Jim, that Ange absolutely loves Mikey Moore?
Yeah, he's I read an article saying that he really likes Mikey Moore, and he's going to be in the first team squad. And I also read on the same article that Lancashire, we've had offers from clubs, and Tottenham are considering selling him.
Yeah. I mean, Shane, can you see Ange taking a gamble and putting these two into the first team?
For Mikey Moore, yes. Mikey Moore, because based on what he has been doing with the senior squad last season, this coming, or rather next season, would be the next logical step in his evolution for Mikey Moore. But apart from Mikey Moore, the only other player I can see joining him in the senior squad will either be someone like an Alfie Devine or even a Jamie Donnelly. Either one of these two, Alfie Devine or Donnelly. So it's going to be Mikey Moore, who's almost a sure certainty to link up the senior team, but whether or not he gets game time is a completely different matter. And another youth player to join him as well. So I'm going to go for Alfie Devine then.
Yeah. AJ, what do you think about these academy boys possibly coming up?
Oh, he really likes the look of Tyrese Hall as well.
That's right.
Mikey Moore, he really likes the look of the pair of them. Mikey Moore has been given rave reviews by everyone that's seen him. By all accounts, the lad's quite incredible, and he actually got on the pitch for Spurs at 16. So that tells you all you need to know as whether or not Ange is going to try and integrate him into the system. I think that's a definite yes. With regards to Lancashire, if we're already considering, he hasn't made a debut for Spurs yet, if we're already considering selling him, that should tell you all you need to know about whether or not he'll be in the first team.
Well, apparently we're loaning him, but Tottenham do not want to sell him under any circumstances. That's what they've said.
If that's our official position, if it's just other clubs wanting him and we're like absolutely not, then there's a possibility he could find his way into the first team. But if it is a consideration that the club are considering maybe selling if the offer's right, I don't think we'll see him in the first team. So it depends on their stance and where they draw the line.
Yeah.
But AJ's right. In the article, it said Hall as well. But both of them, he likes. He's a
very good ball carrier. The boy, like, he's very good. Tyrese Hall picks the ball up and just drives with it. That's the first thing he likes to do. Picks the ball up and drives with it, and most of the time he's successful. You know, he can ride a challenge very well. So yeah, if they're good enough. If they're good enough, if the manager has identified them and says, yeah, let's give them a chance, then let's give them a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's all on Ange. Angus says, I saw you linked to Kyogo. I don't think we've been linked to him. It's just that Celtic have come out and said they would consider selling him if they got an offer of 25 mil or above. But we did have this discussion on Monday, and a few people in the chat said he's a lot like Brian Hill and he's very weak and gets muscled off the ball. So I'm not sure that he's somebody that we would particularly want. I saw this mentioned on the terrace about when England lost, and they said about Saka being plastered over the pages. A bit harsh, but it's typical gutter press, I'm afraid. When England lose, there has to be a scapegoat, and it just so happens that this game it was Saka. We must be the only country who, when our team play, the whole press is against us. It's like the press cannot wait for England to lose so they can dig us out.
Always been the same though, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just going to say...
the days of Beckham and that.
Yeah, when we look at what happened with Bex, when he got sent off with the whole Simeone thing, that was a disgrace. And the press, I mean, they'd never get away with it now. Although
I've never understood why we scapegoat, why it's one person's fault over any... It's a team game. It's a team game. You've got a goalkeeper. In front of him, you've got your defenders. In front of him, you've got your midfield. Like, then you've got the strikers, your attackers. It's their job to put the ball in. If you haven't won a game, it's because you haven't scored as many as the opposition. So why are the strikers not to blame? If you haven't scored enough, they haven't been given an opportunity. Your midfield haven't worked hard enough. Why are the midfielders? Why are we singling out people? Why are we going, it's his fault? No, it's the team's fault. The manager hasn't picked the right team. The team haven't performed. We've got to stop doing this at club level and international level, because you do or don't like a player, they either get praise or they get vilified. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't
about the
know.
headline, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Rinke, did you want to say something before I say my bit?
I want to... No, not about this subject, about the one before about Will Lancashire. I have a question for the panel.
Yeah.
So PSG did this like very good, to be honest. So Xavi Simons, he left Barcelona for free. PSG picked him up for 2 years. But instead of just letting him go, they gave him to PSV and said, like, we have this buyback clause for like 5 million. Xavi Simons did well. They picked him up, loaned him to Leipzig. Would you be like open to do this with Will Lancashire? Like, letting him go to XYZ, but have that buyback clause over like the coming 5 years or something. And I'm like, not have that buyback clause at like 50 or something. Have it maybe at like 5-10 or something like that.
I'm not sure. It's an interesting idea. I always feel like we ship our youths out and then they just disappear into obscurity. I don't know what's so terrible about our academy. I mean,
it's because we don't. Sorry, Kate.
No, go on. I was going to say, anyone got any thoughts? So carry on, AJ.
It's because, to me, there never seems any plan or structure to our loaning our players out. We want them to be up to speed when they come back so that they can compete in the toughest league in the world. The Premier League is tough. You only have to watch players that leave the Premier League and go to other leagues to see how much more relaxed they are and much more free-flowing they are. Why are you, if you want a player that's going to compete and be physical and tough and up to the challenge of the Premier League, why are you loaning them to Spain Why are you loaning them to Portugal? Why are you loaning them to Italy, where the game is slower and not as physical? Like I wouldn't loan Lancashire out. I wouldn't, or have a buyback clause. If he's good enough, if we think he's good enough, then he needs to be integrated into the first team and be given minutes, 10 minutes at the end of a game that we're comfortable in, given 25 minutes in a League Cup game or that sort of thing. You bring them in, play your style of football. You get them into that environment. You don't want them going and learning another style of play or competing in another league when they come back to the Premier League and it's like, oh, well, this is different. You've got to make sure they are going and playing in the right system so that when they come back, they're hitting the ground running.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's got to be a real investigation into what's going on with our youth and stuff. And it's just very bizarre the way we ship these ones out. I keep seeing Real Gooner write this. I thought this was common knowledge. I saw Henry Wright most confused about this when it was mentioned on the terrace, but I thought this was common knowledge. It is what it is at the end of the day. I'm not going to lose any sleep.
They can say whatever they want. It's still north of the river.
Yeah, they are.
We didn't cross the bridge. We didn't go over the bridge. We just moved the landscape.
That's right.
Yeah, what's going on about? They come from South London.
Yeah, but they were actually if you look at the dates, because Middlesex is now part of North London. Actually, Arsenal were in North London before Spurs. That's the new revelation.
Yeah, but they're still just passing on the other side of the river. It don't matter.
That's right.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're the best team. We're the best team in North London, so that's all that matters.
I think that's who's just gone. Oh, AJ. I think that's it. I think that's everything I wanted to cover really. Euro prediction. Mine is I think France will win it, but I don't like to say that. I'd love to say England, but I've got no confidence in our manager more than anything. It's not the players, and I do think our defence looks really shoddy. I think we're going to miss Maguire. I really do. But it is what it is.
That says it all, Kate.
Exactly. It really does. When you're saying you're going to miss Maguire, it speaks volumes. But I just think our defence doesn't look strong enough. Now, Ben said boundaries are redrawn all the time. If it's inside the M25, it's London. There you go.
Giles Square are from Woolwich.
Yes, exactly. Listen, Frank, does anyone want to say anything before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say, for everyone that's watching and part of the community, can you all go and vote for Kate? Let's get her a little plaque behind her so she can sit there all proud next to her Vicario picture, and let's get this done.
Oh, don't. Could you imagine how insufferable it will be? She already name drops
like Jim's face on a hat, like so. Just you won't see Jim, we'll just see the plaque.
Do you know what? If I just get shortlisted, I will feel like I've won something because it'll be amazing.
No, let's do it.
You never know. But thank you very much.
What's that thing you win the Lucent?
Just quickly,
Let
me just say thanks to Chang. He's lost his internet, but big up to you. Thanks for coming on, Chang. Glad you're better. And Vindaloo says, just got a message. Liverpool put a good offer on the table for Eze, but Eze wants to stay in London. But Levy dragging his feet must be to do with Richie, not sure. Interesting. I don't really think it's got anything to do with Richie. I think it's just Levy probably trying to haggle. You know what it's like. I think if this Eze deal does not go through, Levy,
it will be because of Levy.
It's on it. I've said all the shows we've done, I'm going to let this season go. Next year, we've got to be serious, and this is time to step up. If he doesn't do it this year, he's not going to do it. It's as simple as that. This is his one chance to get a few more on board and really make a statement. If he doesn't, then I'm sorry, he's just going to lose a lot of the fan base, and you can't blame him. No,
I agree. This is last chance saloon for Levy for me. Thanks for the half a vote. Listen, Martin, AJ, Rinketic, and obviously Chang, who's not here anymore. Thank you so much for coming on. I enjoyed it. I will be doing member shows throughout the Euros, but I just haven't got set days yet. It's all a bit up in the air. But I will be back tomorrow with Amelia for Queries and Theories tomorrow at 12 o'clock or 12:30.
Comedy Gold Show.
Yeah. I don't even know what we're discussing tomorrow. I think we might.
You don't know anyway. You will never know what you're talking about.
We might be doing cryptids tomorrow, like
God.
like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. I think we might be doing that tomorrow. Who is the dark horse for the Euros? Belgium, I'm going to say.
Austria.
Oh, all different
Yeah.
ones. Austria.
Yeah,
And,
I agree with Ranketic, yeah.
What, Austria?
Yeah, I think they're the dark horses.
Martin says Spain. What about you, AJ?
England.
There we go. But yeah, we will still be doing shows and we will have a members show once the Euros kick off. But thanks again to everyone who's watched, everyone who's come on. And yeah, have a great day, everybody. And as always, I suppose come on you Spurs and come on you England.
Come on, you fucking Spurs, ain't you fucking England?